we start to look towards the season for a moment, as NC State, underrated, dangerous opponent for the Vols. That's according to 247. Your thoughts on the Wolfpack potentially being a surprise team this year as a whole?
Yeah, so this was actually very shocking to me because not just the NC State being named a... So basically, this is one of the 10 risky predictions that Brad Crawford of 247 Sports said. And one of the risky predictions was that NC State would play for the ACC Championship. And it sounds, Dave Doran has consistently, we talk about like floor and ceilings, and Dave Doran is one of those that has that floor and ceiling. It's like 6 wins to 9 wins every year in the ACC. And sounds like he loaded up in the portal, kind of pulled a Lane Kiffin for the ACC. And many people believe they are a legitimate college football playoff contender. Bleacher Report has named Tennessee NC State as one of the best neutral site games of the year. Now, I don't even like that comparison because I think neutral site games are stupid anyway, and I think it should just be home and homes for the rest of the time. I don't get neutral site games, but
yeah, and let's clarify too. So Tennessee will open with Chattanooga, and that's going to be the week in which Nico is just awarded the Heisman. It's all done with. Don't even worry about waiting until November. That's going to be the case. So then they come off, their first real game is going to be NC State, and that is in Charlotte. And there is some importance in there, and people tell me I always go back to recruiting because I think that's the lifeblood of any program. But there's a lot of importance in recruiting there, especially when you look and see what's happened lately in that area. So let's talk about the Carolinas for a second. You have Shane Beamer, who's on a hot seat. Are you really going to commit to him? You look at Dabo Sweeney, who either turned down the Alabama job so they didn't think he was good enough, or let's face it, he's a little bit stale there. Now, as far as what they're doing in North Carolina, I've got a ton of respect for what they're doing in North Carolina. But at any point, if you have a choice to play for a true national championship contender, or you have the choice to play for Mac Brown, who's kind of fun and kind of neat, but he's kind of closing out his career. What's the end goal there? I think Tennessee can make hay in the Carolinas, like when Brad Scott was there going 1-10.
I think so too. And I said that 2 years ago when, actually I said it 3 years ago when Shane Beamer was in South Carolina. And I said that there was an opening for Tennessee to start taking back the Carolinas. I don't think anymore, though, that specific games are relevant to recruiting battles for Tennessee anymore. I think Tennessee is on the cusp of, they're either going to become a program after this year where they can go national. They'll be the program that runs all the other coaches off, not the program that benefits from the other coaches being down, or they're going to fall behind. And it depends on not just so the NC State game all of a sudden becomes important, not for recruiting, but for Tennessee needs to be a top 5 team at the end of this year. They just absolutely have to. And if they're not, you're going to see the dominoes fall for the program. And so I think
don't know about dominoes falling, but I think the Greg McElroy's that say Tennessee comes back to the pack a little bit will look awfully correct if Tennessee's just a 9-win season. That's why I think 10 is such a magic number. I just, the 10 makes all the difference in the world to me.
It's also why the NC State game is so absolutely crucial to win. Like, this isn't it's not like a crucial, like Alabama circled either way or something like that. No, well, I think that's circled too this year, but they have to actually, they can't just beat NC State. I think they got to beat them pretty significantly, Dave. I think you have to really show that you've arrived with Nico Iamaleava, and you have to show what you are as a program. And they have to show that they're at a level that you and I both agree NC State's never going to get at least under Dave Doran, right?
No, I don't think so. Could they surprise Tennessee? I guess, but this team doesn't get, well, I'll say they don't get surprised. I guess you could point to the Missouri and South Carolina game. But the South Carolina game, at least you have the Jeremy Banks issue. We know what happened in Missouri because that defense changed up what they did completely against Tennessee. So I'll say this: I don't think Tennessee is a team that shows up and gets surprised a lot, and I think that's a good sign. I think those are the Butch Jones teams that are kind of up and down a little bit more. Portions of the program brought to you by Rick Terry Jewelry Design. They want to be your jeweler looking for affordable game day jewelry. How about the Fire Opals, a Tennessee tradition? Go to rickterryjewelry.com, rickterryjewelry.com. I just don't think they're a team that gets too up and too down for the most part. And I think that starts with the head coach, Caleb.
Well, if that's the case, then they really have to blow out NC State, because if they don't, then it's going to be a long, long year. And this is why I say the NC State game is not really reflective. The fight with the Carolinas was reflective on recruiting in 2022 when Tennessee beat Clemson, and in 2021 when Tennessee blew out South Carolina. They took 2 of 3 because they blew that game against South Carolina in 2022. That, as you and I both know, that cost them about 3 commitments. That loss to South Carolina did. But now it's 2024. Now Tennessee's on the cusp of being a powerhouse. Now, whether or not they recruit those areas is on them, not on the other programs. Because those other programs are falling apart no matter what. So yes, the NC State game is important in terms of recruiting the Carolinas, but it's only important in the sense of, if they don't beat NC State, the season is a loss. You can cancel the season at that point. It's a loss. The whole season is a loss. Heupel's career is a loss at Tennessee if they don't beat NC State.
Well, a loss, he could turn it around. Come on.
You think they're beating Alabama or Georgia if they can't beat NC State?
Well, no. But
exactly.
I think they're an even kill program, and they're not going to overlook NC State. I think you have to overlook NC State to some extent. They
have to blow out NC State. They need to win. And what I'm saying is, we thought this was a circle win. This is not like Virginia this past year. Can we say that safely?
Yes.
I think a lot of people are expecting this game to be like Virginia. I don't think Tennessee is, but I'm just warning you, Tennessee fans. NC State could be dangerous. Tennessee needs to treat NC State like Virginia, in the sense that they need to beat them like they beat Virginia last year to prove that they're where they're at.